This is a 2006 Honda Jazz. I've already got the wheels off and it's already jacked up using axle stands. If you want to see how to get a wheel off, I'll put a link up there. This should be fairly straightforward, but 2005, it's what, 19 years old at the time of making this. Basically, all we've got to do is we've got a two 12mm bolts, one top, one bottom. We then got, I believe it's a 14. Let me check that. Yeah, we've got two 14s which hold this caliper hanger on. That's got to come off, and then we'll have two Phillips screws. They just hold the disc on. We should then be able to knock the disc off. In theory, it's as simple as that. In reality, it's going to be rusty. First up, two 12mm. Make sure these go on. Oh, nice. They're not holding the wheel together, so it shouldn't be massively tight. And then we'll wind them off. We'll get these two out and then set these two out of the way, somewhere where we can't kick them all over the floor. I've got a bit of cardboard down for that very reason. A, it gives me something to sit on this gravel. I'm working outside today. B, it catches stuff when you drop it. Oh, that's nice. Right, big old screwdriver, and we should be able to prise this off. There we go. And then we can get the pads out, what's left of them. Or maybe not, might need a little bit of gentle persuasion. The problem we've got with this car is the back brakes aren't releasing their binding. And all that is probably why. Let's get these off. I'm going to try not to hit the camera. Hopefully this isn't too wobbly for you, but rotten. Try and get around the back. Right, let me get a big bar. Right, make sure that's on. Oh, right. Oh, just needs a little bit of a tickle. Look. Same for the bottom. See if that plays ball. Get that caliper out of the way. You don't want to be too vicious with the caliper and hurt the pipes. Right. Here's my. I'm using a 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter, just so I can use this big bar. Lovely. And then, okay, there we go. That was pretty painless. It's quite nice being able to take this off actually, because as you can see, it's so corroded. Without the disc in the way, we'll be able to give this a good clean up. If you can't hold it anywhere and do it, you can always take the disc off, bolt this back on, then get your wire brush in there, give it a good clean up, and then take it out of the way. But I'm hoping I'll deal with you in a minute. Oh, that's the deal with you now. Right, it won't come, socket won't come off, so we wind it back in the hole and just give it a couple of taps. maybe a bit of encouragement. There you go. Right, that's that one. And we'll do the same with the top one. Again, we might give these a bit of a wire wheel just to clean them up, because they are stiff. That's it. Alright, so there's one. And then if we just wiggle the caliper and wiggle the hanger over it. If you can't get enough torque on it, stick a socket on it. Gives you a bigger surface to grab hold of. There you go. Right, that's our hanger which needs cleaning. Now we're going to get these two screws off. Sometimes they're really tight, sometimes not. Sometimes you get Allen key ones. I brought over the impact driver just in case, but didn't need it. I was using this screwdriver because you can hit it as well. Hit it at the end. If you're going to need to hit a screwdriver like that, make sure it's one with a metal end, because you don't want the message getting lost between here and there. You want that whack there to be felt up this end. Right, we should be able to just get these bits out of the way and then give that a little tap. There you go. This comes off. Oh, look at the state of that. That's the noise she couldn't hear. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely needed replacing. I'll be showing her this one. We've got some crud round here. In the previous video I did on the front, it was actually the front of this car. One of the wheels was really corroded. So much so that I needed to chisel off all the crap that was around there, but this one isn't so bad. There's a little bit there, look. But give it a good clean up. Right, that's all the old parts off. Now we'll get this caliper pushed back. This caliper does the handbrake as well as the foot brake. So on some of them you can get away with just using a screwdriver to pop in the back here and just prise the piston back. The fact that we've had a binding problem on this and the amount of rust that was there, but it'd probably be hard to do. But on this one anyway, it's got a screw back piston, so you're going to need a set like this. And we've basically got a bracket, a clamping bracket, which will sit in here. We'll have to take this anti-rattle out. That'll sit in there, and then depending on whether it's left or right hand thread, we've got the compressor, and then we just literally find a tool that fits in there nicely, that we can give it a bit of a wiggle. To get this piston screwed back, it's a bit stiff, so I've put the hanger back on, put the caliper back on, and rather than using the big plate, there's a smaller one on this set. It's quite lucky it's got that fits in there lovely. And the Honda adapter, it didn't like that one, it liked a slightly smaller one, which is a universal one. But now, as you can see, I can get in there and twist that caliper back. So I'll gradually wind this back until it goes as far in as it can. I'm not going to force it back. Just as soon as I feel it stop, then that'll be that reset, and then we can start cleaning up all this, get the new discs and the pads in. And to get this tool out and to get it in, you have to assemble it and then put the caliper on. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm cheating, air tools. See, that comes out. Calipers, the piston's pushed right back. I haven't forced it just till it went snug. Seal's seen better days, so we'll probably be looking at a new caliper at this. On this, yeah. The other thing that it has thrown up is that slide's all right, but this slide sees kind of solid almost. There's a little bit of movement on this, so I should be able to get it off, which is good. But let's have that out. Brake discs, nearly always covered in some sort of oil or wax. So get yourself some brake cleaner, and then if you start doing it this way, as in this side up, when you turn it over, you're not putting this flat surface on something where it's going to be covered in grit. There we go. That should get all that off now. All right, let that dry and we'll stick it on. So I'm going to be having this apart again soon, because I think that caliper needs doing. But however, it will get a thorough MOT. That's the disc on. Got dirty gloves, so I'll give it another clean. There's my screw gun. There we go. And again, don't over tighten these because they're not holding the disc on, they're just keeping it steady. So when the wheel bolts are off, it doesn't all slop around. So you can put a bit of a on them, but don't go mad, because it isn't going to fall off once the wheel's on. That's going to hold it. So I'll give this a bit of a clean, and we'll clean that hanger off. Then we must remember to put this anti-squill bracket back in. See this one? I can pull this boot off, he says, just as easy as that, and get the piston out, or the slide. See, it's nicely greased, runs in out smoothly. This one, you can see the boot's twisted, which is your first sort of giveaway sign that something isn't quite right. So I think the first thing is to untwist that, try and get it sitting where it's supposed to, and then same thing again. It is moving, it's just stiff. Let me get a screwdriver if I can't get this boot off. Hopefully we can just give it a clean up. Now let's see what, I don't know if you can see the rust around there. So this is going to need to see the business end of my wire wheel. If I can get it out, that's not too bad. We'll give it a clean up around there so it slides around in that boot a bit better, and just put a little bit of grease in there, and hopefully that is that one done. See all that rust? So just give it a little bit of a clean up. Cleaned up on the wire wheel, bit of high temperature grease on there. See that's much better now. So next bit is to clean this hanger up. So we'll have this little metal plate off. There's my screwdriver. My pads won't go in properly, so I've had to take off these little shims that sit on here, because there's a lot of, I don't know if you can make this out, you may be able to see it or not, but see, like, there's loads of high spots. It's just basically corroded up. So I'm taking it off, giving it a squirt, keep the dust down, getting most of it off, and then I'll try and run something across that with a file or something to knock them high spots down, because that's probably what's not helping with these binding a little bit. I'll stick that in the vise and I'll show you what I did. That's all cleaned up now. I just knocked the rust off it. Hopefully you can see that. Doesn't take much, and it makes it too tight. These can't move as they're supposed to. I mean, you can see the state of it. So they should sit back in there now. I'm doing all this, I don't know if you can see it or not, but they should clip back in. Where's the other one? There it is. And then now we should have a lot easier time of it getting these in. Seeing that it's much easier. It's just rust. Right, let me get this bracket back on. on the other side, when I take this all off, I'll just strip it all apart anyway, because if it's like it on this side, it's going to be like it on the other side. So now we should be able to just sneak our pads in. Already got this one in, but make sure they wiggle around. You don't want them tight. If they can't move backwards and forwards, that's when they bind. I should be able to move this slider out of the way. Once I get this into position, it should then just fall up. There we go. That's it. And now we can get our top and bottom bolts in, which are there. There's one of them. None of this, you shouldn't be able to forcing it, getting levers in or anything like that. If it's not going in, stop, regroup. See, this is under spring tension now. That's it. Little wiggles, fine. And I like to do these up by hand. It's actually spinning that now. We didn't have that on the way out. That's it. Perfect. It's always a good idea to hold it anyway, because remember that boot that was spun, that's why it would have been done up without anything on there. So get on this. Hopefully now that's going to go in a little bit better. That's it. It's good just to get one in almost tight, and it just brings the caliper around, and then the other one lines up. Right, here's our spanner. That one. So nip them up, but don't over tighten them. That's it. You might notice that I don't put any sort of grease on the or lubricant on the brake pads. Never have, never will. This is the reason. Think of this as your brake pads, and we know this come off the existing pads. So if we drop that on there, not a lot of it sticks. Now you put some anti-squill or anything like that on there. Same amount of crap. That's why I don't do it. To finish this off, I'll go inside and I'll wiggle the handbrake and the foot brake and try and get that caliper to self-adjust, because at the moment it's probably out further than it needs to be. It does a couple of things. We make sure we're checking that it's working, and then I can come back around and make sure that that's not binding. Check that this is on, which is good. We didn't have that before. I'll take the handbrake off. Bear with me. There we go. Perfect. This side's all done. The only difference being, I didn't have to take that clip out with that smaller adapter. Around the other side, I tried it with the big one first, and it was never going to go. But with the smaller one, it fits in there lovely. So you don't have to play with that at all. If you've got that adapter set for the brake reset tool, fits in there lovely. Just got in it, pumped the brake pedal, worked the handbrake, went from almost 8 clicks to about 5. So the automatic adjuster's working, and it's not binding. So yeah, rear brakes on a Honda Jazz. Hopefully you like this one. Check out my other stuff. I'll see you on the next one.